What's up, everybody out there listening to Tell Me More Radio with Tom Shadyac? I hope y'all are having a good afternoon. My name is Jasmine Houston, and tonight we have a pretty good show in store for you guys. Tonight, I just really wanted to talk about 2016 and the things that have been on my mind either all year, recently, and just unanswered questions. So it's pretty much like one of our Anything Goes shows if you guys have listened to us before. So if you'd like to call us and tell us about your year or ask us your questions, you could call us at 901-260-5926. Tonight I have a great group of people in the studio with me, and I do want to give y'all the chance to say your names. So we're going to start with Colway and go around the room.
Well, she already said my name, but I'm Colway.
All right.
I'm Aaliyah.
Trey Bond.
Those are my two best friends, y'all, for like 10 years and plus, well, and more. So I love
Keon.
you. All right.
Andrew, Mr. I Am in the Flesh.
Oh, I am.
I'm Destiny.
Andre.
I'm Blaze.
All right.
Christian.
And we got
We got
Art
Art,
all
the
the way
alien.
in the back. We love you, Art.
He's waving to y'all. Y'all can't see him though.
All right, so I guess I wanted to just start the show off by asking some of you guys in the room, what have you learned from 2016? Like, what have y'all gotten out of the year? Did y'all get better intuitively, or like, what's up, Coley?
Well, I learned in 2016 that our next president is gonna be Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, that's a great lesson, huh?
No. But 2016 it taught me not to give up. Nothing major happened, but like everything's kind of on the tipping point in my life. Things are like right there about to fall over, and you got to just push through everything. You know, things ain't gonna always be sunny, and everything ain't always gonna be right. But you got to push through it, get to the next step.
All right, Andrew.
I learned that anything is possible. I learned that to just be who you are. Be the person you can be, and do the best. Put 2016 behind you. 2017 is coming. So out with the old, in with the new.
All right, cool. So the reason I just wanted to do this show is because I have been learning a lot this year, and every year, like, it seems like I get better and I learn a lot more and I grow. And so for 2016, I would just say that I learned that, well, most importantly, just how important like health is, and like what you put in your body as far as energy and stuff like that, because it is really real. And like you could feel the effects if you don't treat yourself right, but you also got to be conscious of like how your old habits were, because if you don't know that you're treating yourself or your body wrong, then it's going to feel normal. But most of it's not normal, so just be conscious of your diet. And I also got a lot more faith. I'm a real person, real big on faith. Like, I just do everything. I follow my heart, and that's like the main thing I listen
There
to.
you
And
go.
so
There you go.
yep, and so that's the main thing I learned. But I wanted to ask you guys in the room and the callers out there, so a few questions that's been on my mind. And so I guess I'll go ahead and start off with the question, but we are open to questions within the room and to our listeners. So if y'all think of something, just ask anybody. And again, if you want to join the conversation, you could call us at 901-260-5926. So the first question I had was was related to Christmas. And we talked about materialism and stuff in the past, but I really just noticed, like, as far as my people go, like, even in my family, like, we really, really go above and beyond our means of, like, funds and financial situations to make our kids happy, trying to follow, like, traditional holidays.
Going broke.
Basically. And so I just was wondering like what would happen if we saved that money and actually got the things that we need instead of the things we want, because I know for sure like it's a lot of things that we need within our own communities that if we all would have invested that money that we spend on toys and stuff for leisure purposes that we could have solved on our own versus like waiting for the state to do it or the government and all that. So why is it that, well, another part of that question as well is just like, if I just thought about like if I asked everybody in my neighborhood to donate like $5 or whatever to improve the community, like they probably would say no or they ain't got it. But they'll go to church on Sundays and stuff like that and give money every week. And I'm not saying nothing is wrong with it, but I'm saying like why can't we invest in ourselves the way we give money to all these other companies?
This Trey Bond speaking though, but I think as far as like church and stuff like that is because those like things like that, it's like a set institution that it's like been built up throughout history and all that.
The program.
So, yeah, so
that's the program.
So if you want to do something to, like help the community, you gotta expect to build it up. You can't like expect a quick reaction from the people. You know, everything gotta be slowly built up and modeled to what you planned it out to be. You know what I'm saying? You can't just
again. We going back to what we always talk about, the box.
Yeah, it's kind of
it's the box. Once you be programmed into doing certain traditions, you stay into this box. And we all know we are at home. Then what I always say: work, school, church. Give my money to the church. But if I ask for $5 to help build this community up, what you need $5 for?
So since it's not said that we like have programs to help our own communities, like what would that look like? Like, is it possible?
I think you have to build those relationships first. If people don't trust you, they're not gonna want to give you their money, because you see instances where people's money is taken advantage of, etc. So I think the first step is, I guess, building the relationships and showing how you can impact, because it might sound good saying I need $5 to donate, or I need you to donate $5 to help the community, but like how? And then why do I trust you to do that? Because, maybe I've met people before that asked for $2. I gave it to them, didn't see anything happen.
Okay.
It's kind of like a catch-22.
But what if a homeless person asks you for $1? What would you do?
I mean,
I get to him.
That's what I'm saying. But then you go to your next door neighbor, ask them for $5.
Well, see, the thing is, it's like this. It's kind of like people in our communities. I'm not gonna say all of them, but a majority of them, they kind of gotta
see it.
Every man for himself kind of deal, which is kind of every household for himself. The reason why they get to church is because a lot of them bring the church home with them. They got a Bible in the house. They got crosses everywhere. That's kind of like their out sanctuary. So church is kind of, in history, it's always been like one and the same. Like, you'll walk on up to somebody's front door. It's got God is my savior. If you don't respect him, don't come in the house.
That's the faith in the church.
Exactly. Yeah. So when they give to the church, they're still giving to the household, because people, they give because in the book it says if you give this, pay your tithes, you'll get.
Okay, so that made me think of another question. Like, so I know like the reason that a lot of people give money at churches and stuff is because they have like the whole God said give your 10%. Some people are scared that they're gonna go to hell and stuff like that. And also I feel like some people are hopeless and they might feel like they're buying a miracle in a sense. So do you think that the reason that people aren't as willing to give money into the community could be because there aren't like any consequences of any type of not doing it? That they could, it's consequences, but it's not like immediate, I guess, or obvious.
Yeah, like it's kind of like if it doesn't immediately help people, it's kind of hard for them to succumb to give money. It's kind of like you have the option to go into Best Buy and buy something, but they got a sale online. If you wait 5 days, you can get it $15-$20 cheaper.
But what do you get immediately for tithe and offering?
That's comfort. I can say that.
Guess,
That's what people get. You know, like, but somebody will spend $20 more just to get it now.
Right.
You know, it's that now factor.
But tithing and offering is not just monetary. That's what a lot of people don't understand neither. Tithes and offering just not monetary. I mean, you can give clothes away. That's the same thing as 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, but like in relative to
right.
the
people think
to the
right,
question.
right.
Yeah. What
All
is
right, so y'all ready for a new question or something? Do any of y'all
Yep.
have one? All right, Keon.
My question in general is really for everyone on the planet right now. I just see so many people who don't want to change themselves and don't want to make that the priority, and they want everything else. And sometimes I'm that person too. I just want to know what you guys think. How should we deal with that in 2017?
Andrew.
Andre.
Andrew. I'm sorry.
You live
Looking
in
at Andrew. Go ahead, Andre.
a capitalist society, it breeds individuality. And this society, they believe so much in the fiction. So they put on all this stuff and buy all this stuff because they're looking for instant gratification.
Stuff is okay. So it's not okay. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather we don't live that way. I mean, even a little bit deeper than that. Like, we have maybe, as soon as we have access to the universe, we have infinite resources. As soon as we have access to ourself, we have better paths of living. So I just don't understand why, when everything's already kind of available and throughout everyone's life, everyone's seeing that when they need something is there, why don't they go down their true paths?
They don't know their true paths.
I say something. A person has to they have to see something wrong with themselves. If they don't feel like something is wrong with them, they just gonna go keep doing the same stuff that they've been doing. But like when like a series of events happen to them, and then like they get that moment of like damn, I gotta switch it up. That's when they gonna switch it up, because they realize it now. That's why they.
Well,
it's like a personal thing.
Yeah,
like
I kind of
journey.
understand with Keon. I kind of understand what you're saying. Like, you're like, why don't people go out and get what they're
what they desire to get?
Exactly.
Their comfort. It's comfort.
Yeah.
Once you get in a place of comfort, you feel like nothing's wrong. I'm okay with my life. But you can go, or you can be 10 times greater once you dig inside and figure out I'm here more than just to live and work.
Yeah.
All right, so I wanted to go back to what Aaliyah said as far as people not being able to trust you with the funds if you do try to start something like that, because I think it's tied to what Keon was saying. And I feel like a lot of the reason why it's harder for us to come together and try to work together towards the thing that we know we all want to fix but just don't know how to is because we can't see ourselves in each other. And like that's a big thing. Like
when you ask for like community fund, like hypothetically, are you talking about like fixing a sidewalk or like fixing someone's house? What is it that a community needs with money?
It's not even necessarily everything to do with money. I feel like we also need to build relationships and get respect for one another once again.
Through money?
Not necessarily through money, no.
The money builds the infrastructure. The infrastructure controls all the economics coming out of the community.
But hasn't that been the problem everywhere all the time anyway?
How so?
I don't know about everywhere.
Like the capitalistic infrastructure eventually sets a few people in power, and the chase for it is prolongated so that people are in it for a long time.
Well, the people that has the power or the means should go coagulate their money together and practice group economics, which will build the infrastructure of their community. And you have schools, you have grocery stores, you have all the things that you need to build the building blocks of the youth. It's not there right now.
I've always seen money as the problem. Like the ancient format is you build friendship, you build your own skill. people get to know you and you're recognized as a master of yourself, and there's pride beyond money, beyond a number, and we always fall back on what number is being received.
Well, it's not even just all about money. I just use that as an example because I know it's a lot of different things that we need in our communities, but we say we don't have the funds, but we really do if we just started piecing like bits and pieces together.
I understand. I just don't know what you mean, what funds are needed. Is it like food, shelter,
like
clothing?
We could get healthy foods in the community because a lot of people go to McDonald's and Burger King and that stuff is killing us.
I totally understand, but I feel like the true path of that is not to gain money, but to farm. Like,
well, we gotta have like land to farm, and we gotta buy the land. So
you have to have the equipment to farm.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not a part of it, but I'm just saying that people immediately go for funds, and I feel like the reality of like farming at all is it's a real task, and like real people need to really do it. You can't just have everyone be like, well, we'll get money for it and do it.
Take the money out of the equation and just use resources instead of money.
Well, see, I kind of understand what Keon's saying. Like,
I get what he's saying too.
What we can't blame McDonald's for setting up a corporation. We have to blame ourselves for supporting that corporation because me and Dennis had this conversation like yesterday or 2 days ago. Our grandmothers, my grandmother, she didn't have a lot of land. She had about a half acre. And my other grandmom, she had a 0 lot. They still grew their own cabbage, their own tomatoes. They still, my grandma had chickens.
Well,
did she have beans?
When you build the infrastructure, when you build that infrastructure up, they don't teach this stuff in school anymore. When I was going to school, we got taught horticulture and wood shop and all these things. They took that out of the school. So when you gain control of your community, you put those things back into the community, which will render you those type of results, right?
And then we talking about money. Take the money out the equation. What other means of what
currency?
Currency. We gonna go back to bartering?
Exactly. Like we gotta live like we gotta recognize where we at. Like like this the United States. Like as much I feel y'all like money.
It is
the
problem.
It's the problem, but you know you gotta play the game. You gotta play the game to change the game. Like
it's a necessary evil.
True. I don't know. I agree with Andre. Like if you were to write the government and say, or anything, some format of agency that's designed to, cipher money, and you said we're trying to reinstate these things into the school system. We're trying to re-educate people to do these things because this is what we need. There will be money. In fact, you can have money, you can have media, you can have all those things. It has to be done right, but you can't. I don't think you can or can't. I just have never seen it work.
When they have an agenda, and that's not their agenda.
I just believe if I really believe they don't have an agenda, then my belief is more.
Well, we shouldn't depend on them. That's when she's saying,
well,
get the money.
That's what I say.
Practice group economics and do our own. You should do for yourself. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. The blackberries take care of the blackberries. The bluebirds take care of the bluebirds. The pandas don't take care of the polar bears. They do for self first. We can't rely on the government to do.
We're not like, you're not a blackbird and I'm not a brown bird. We're all humans.
I feel you.
This is true.
Correct. We part of the human family. You're right. It's one race called the human race.
But they don't play like that though.
Who's that?
The government don't play like that. Everything is divided. If you pay attention to who gets more, the far as just inequality, inequality and quality.
No, use him.
They don't play like that. So we have to play their way. It works for who it works for. You just have to learn how to work commercially through it.
Keon, you're Iranian. I've never seen an Iranian in my neighborhood other than at the store.
Well,
coming and kicking it with me, I'm saying. Yeah. Your culture kicks it with y'all do y'all thing with your people.
I'm Keon. I hang out with literally, like yesterday, I have everyone.
You're an anomaly.
Yeah. Well, maybe, but I'm going to lead, and the other anomalies are all here. And the whole point of a conversation is we can find the transcending conversation because we're here and we're like already equipped with what we're in the moment. We're fringing it. And yeah, when you think like that, when you live like that, you're scarce of energy, you're scarce of resources, and you're scarce of time. But the truth is, and what we've all discovered is, when we find a way to make within ourselves better and then serve, that's really the community that survives.
But how do you get the people to understand what I was alluding to about the capitalist society and people buying all this stuff because they have stuff going on inside of them, and I'm gonna go buy this and this is gonna fix it, but it's instant gratification, and before you know it, it's sitting over there in the corner.
I don't know. To me, I totally understand what you're saying, and to me, I've always been like, maybe this is like, 91 internet was invented, and then we had a technology flux where people are receiving the same format of information, and then they did like marriage advertisements. I really think it's like a male-female dance that has kept us in materialism. And
That's true.
I think the minute we stray from that, we're like, whoa, the whole universe, all of life, literally every moment is able for us to sow and grow and yield.
I got a spin for that statement. So it's really on the females because everything we do, we doing it to get them.
All right, y'all. So
I'm going to go and slide the microwave from them.
If they stop saying they want this.
I really want to get to father.
Actually got truth to it.
Okay, we're going to have to get to that. The next segment, but I do want to get to Father of the
Blaze
Earth.
literally left.
Yeah, I want to get to Father of the Earth because he's been waiting for a long time. So, Father of the Earth, what do you have to share with us?
Well, why you do it?
Hey, what's going on?
Well, look, I think y'all was talking about putting money in the community and stuff. Now, I think that would be a real nice little start. Just a starter is to put the money, collect the money, and pay somebody to help clean up your neighborhood, pick up all this paper and trash, stuff like that. It'd be sort of like a psychological bath. Like when you take a bath and get clean clothes on, you want to keep it that way. But for the economics in our neighborhood, we lost out a long, long time ago during the civil rights movement when we took all our money out, took billions of dollars out of our black restaurants and canceled white establishments. Y'all love us. We didn't get no brownie points for that, not anything. So we're going to have to really support one another in business. That would be a good thing all the way around. We can get those billions of dollars back in our community. That would be wonderful.
How old are you, Father of the Earth?
Well, since the last time I was born at 33,425 years old, I am now 5% of 780 plus 20.
Well, should we blame your generation for that?
What's the passage?
Lamentations 5:14. The elders have left the gate, and the young men no longer listen to their music.
Are you 58?
58.
You missed out by once. But you know I didn't math. When you miss once, you missed out. No, that was pretty good, though.
All right, Father of the Earth, we appreciate your call. I want to get to Mr. McKinney before we take a break. So, Mr. McKinney, you're on the air. Hello? Mr. McKinney. Hello? I think he's coming.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Hey, Miss McKinney, what you got to share for us?
I heard a little on the very end. Yeah, are you still there?
Yes, sir. Turn your radio down.
Yeah, I'll go again. Turn this radio down.
Mr. McKinney.
Well, someone talking about money. I came on till end.
Yes, we was.
Somewhat, anyway. I remember Churchill said, we was talking about capitalism. I heard a gentleman talk about capitalism. Well, that is the American way. I mean, and not only that, most of the world is dealing with,
The United States was built on capitalism.
About profit. So it depends on the way you use capitalism. You can use it wisely or foolishly, right? All right. So money can be used for goods. You got to pay your light and gas and water. You get, et cetera, et cetera. You got to pay your rent. All right.
Yes, sir.
So
You're right.
money is good. The way you use it is I That's
Yeah,
what
those
it
the
is.
necessities. We know about the necessities, but we spend $1 trillion a year on materialistic.
1.5 trillion.
Yeah, but you didn't get what I'm saying. This is capitalism, and it's about spending that kind of money. It's up to
No,
you whether you
no.
want to spend it wisely or foolishly. Okay, if you know during Christmas and you in debt and you're gonna be in debt half of the next year, and you go out and buy a lot of stuff.
But they're doing it.
Yeah, whose fault is that?
I mean, it's only one group of people that I know that does that.
Well, it's their fault. It's not the commercial.
We-
It's not the merchant's fault. Anyway, back in the old days, biblical days, they didn't have money. They had a barter system.
Right.
Okay, you bring in a peck of potatoes and you change that for some tomatoes. You know what I mean? That might be the best thing we could do. I'd bring back the barter system.
All right,
As
Miss
long as we got
McKinney.
money and banks and the Federal Reserve, it's going to be about making profit.
True.
Now you can talk all you want to about, this, that, and the other, but the bottom line is money can be used for good or could be used for ill good. Okay.
All right, thanks, Miss McKinney,
All
for
right.
calling. You have a good night. I really do agree with Miss McKinney as far as you got to figure out how to spend your money, and hopefully we could figure out a way to invest into ourselves and stuff so we could get better
Yeah,
conditions.
I agree with him too on the bartering, but we got to deal with what's at hand. We're not
Alright.
going back to bartering.
All right. All right, y'all. We're getting ready to take a quick break. And if you would like to join this conversation, you could call us at 901-260-5926. We'll be right back. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Tell Me More Radio with Tom Shadyac. I'm Jasmine Houston. And tonight we've just been talking about some questions and things that have been on my mind probably all year. And so I wanted to kind of relate one of the biggest problems that we had in 2016 as far as like times when people felt like they were upset about what's going on. And my little sister, she started a YouTube channel and she speaks about it. And in the video, she talks about things that we need to let go in 2016. And so this is one of the things that she suggested that we need to solve. So Jess, could you play clip number 3, please?
Police attacks need to be left in 2016. I feel like racism needs to be left in 2016. I'm tired of cutting on my TV and always seeing a new news coverage on a black male that got shot by a white cop. Police get away with a lot of things that they shouldn't get away with, that average people like us wouldn't get away with if we were to do it. And they get away with it just because they have a badge. I feel like it's not fair, it's not equal, and it needs to be left in 2016. Don't let it happen in 2017.
All right, and the reason that I wanted to play that is because that's the one thing that I saw kind of shake up a lot of things time after time again on social media for sure. And so the question that I had in regards to what she just said is just like, why is it that something tragic has to happen for us to feel like we need to come together as people and be more compassionate and see that we need each other? And it also kind of related to the Dakota. Yeah, the pipeline situation. And I was wondering, like, I don't know how easy it was, but it seemed like it was pretty easy for Native Americans to join together and stand for that cause. But if so many people have expressed so much outrage, why is it that our concern only lasts like while the situation is current?
Well, it's South Dakota. And
Well,
Native American.
sorry, South.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying.
I
Native
got you.
American literature had written that there will be a day that they all come together 7 generations down the line. And it's kind of like supernatural that it's happening like that. But also the fact that people who read together and talk together and are generally, in communication one way or another and are proud of it will come to each other's aid. That's what I've seen. And, I think you want to leave it for next week to talk about the Willie Lynch letters, but I think they're very interesting because, it really talks about, regardless of those, it just says to remove community, you have to break people's pride. And pride is a weird thing because too much of it, you ruin yourself. But if it's broken from you, then they also kind of take everything else. Anyone can, including your neighbor, including yourself. And, you know, that's kind of what I really see the problem being is it's like too many people are unaware that they are not even close to aware enough of their world to have the intelligence to boast the pride that they do. And that's what's weird to me. That's really honestly why I have problems being social with people, is because of the many facades they put up without, you know, if a space lord came down and was wearing like silver everything, was like, yo, I just flew down here, I get to wear this kind of stuff, I'm like, whatever, cool. But some people, like, that rock on your hand, people died for. The clothes on your body, animals died for. And it's marked up. And so you basically had to use a slave system to get it. And you want to have a conversation with me about what? You know? And so then I can't have a conversation with them. And these are the things that cause rifts. And the more of those you have, it's not about racism. It's about who controls money. If race is the topic needed to maneuver that, they're going to use it.
Well,
anyone's going to use it. And anytime you feed into it, you're giving them power.
But it's really hard for people to see past the whole idea of race because it's just another way to divide us. And so it's doing
hard because right now you just said it. It's not hard.
People
Nothing
are spiritually
is hard.
asleep. That's why it's hard.
You
That's
have
the
to
only reason, you know.
Well, I understand that, like, I could get my mind right, but I'm saying just in general on, like, a basic level where most people are, we can't see past it because it's a real thing, like, as far as how we see the world, because, like, you have to mark what you are here, and then, like...
We is not right. Children don't see color. There's, like, a portion of people who, when put in social situations, feel frightened and do it. But it has to be here all the time. It is such a critical thing. You have to literally fight for it all the time. I am not racist. I am not looking for anything other than people's intelligence about the awareness they have of the place they are and their self-development.
But Keon, I'm just saying that, like, most people aren't at that place. So I feel like we got to do a lot of mending to understand that it's more to life than that.
That's the rhetoric given to us by our leaders. They say, no, we'll have an electoral college because the people don't have the intelligence needed to elect who they're going to elect. And because they say that and because they set it up, then they create that population.
Those are all excuses. The only thing you need to do is break the flesh and find out who you really are spiritually. Then you won't even, none of this stuff will even matter. It won't even matter.
True. But how did we get to this point of racism? If race didn't matter, how did we get to the point of racism?
I'll tell you.
I mean, where race came from and all this different stuff has happened because of what man did to make all these different things happen. But
right.
That's all. It's all rhetoric. It doesn't really matter though. At the end of the day, we are where we are because of us.
You're right.
Humans as a general. It doesn't matter. We are here because of what we did. To fix it, we have to go back and start where it began.
For instance, we thinking all this mass shooting and all these police getting off just started. This is nothing new.
No, it's nothing new.
It's not. The cameras are new.
Exactly.
But this started. But the actual racism started back in the 1400s.
Man, racism has been going on way before that.
Well, I'm just saying, as far as I can think of, as far as I'm
who cares though? Because the thing is, the only way to fix it
it's people that does care. A lot of the people that's in major power does. Well, I take that back. It's not racism. It's called
divide and conquer.
Classism.
Classism, racism.
Classism.
It's all the same thing.
That's it.
Many ways to divide us. Until you get to find out who you really are and how this universe works, like Keon says, then you'll understand it. None of this
We're on that level, though. We're on that level. The majority of the world is not on that level.
You can't save everybody because everybody's not going to want to wake up. It's like trying to wake up a hibernating grizzly bear. How do you do it?
It's never going to be a time where we're not divided. Like, I don't believe that there will ever be a time where there will never be an issue. Even if racism is no longer the issue, there will be issues with economic status. Like, I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm saying that the world essentially won't flow. I don't think it will flow as naturally without, like, it's just
I beg
something
to
that has to
differ.
happen.
But we could do what we can, y'all. And Adrian's been waiting really long on the line, so I want to see what she has to say. Adrian, you're on the air.
I'm enjoying listening to all of these different perspectives on what is, where did we get to this place, and what is real and what is the problem. And I regardless of all of that, I'm still coming back to the same spot, and that is that it's not money and it's not racism. I think it really is that we don't get to know each other and love each other and respect each other. And I think if we as individuals can each make an effort to make steps to make those connections in our community, then I think the other problems will begin to solve themselves. When Father of the Earth was on talking about collecting money to go pay somebody to clean up the mess, my initial thought was, let's go grab our neighbors and let's all go out there together and solve this ourselves together, but also take the opportunity to spend some time with each other and get to know each other. And from there, you can tackle the bigger problems. But start with what you know, and sometimes you got to start with baby steps, and sometimes you walk around in circles for a while. But I really, in my core, believe that it all comes down to our connections with each other, regardless of what color your skin is or what language you speak or where you live or how much money you've got.
All right. Thank you, Adrian, for that positive perspective.
How do we get to that point?
Yes, that's
we
what I
indulge in each other's culture and indulge in each other's household. How do you get to that point?
All right. Can we save that question for Gordon? Thank you for calling, Adrian.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Gordon, you're on the air. Did you hear Andre's question?
I think so. Can you repeat it real quick?
How do you bridge the gap to where people indulge in each other's culture and have no bias, race, creed, or color? Or if you want to call yourself a color, humans are not crayons, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm going to let Gordon answer.
Hey, yeah, no, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's really challenging.
I think that's the most challenging thing we have, and I have to agree with Adrian on that one. But like, I think it's going to come from personal connections. I mean, you can look at what Keon's doing. I love what he said earlier. Like, I'm going to fight. Like, I'm gonna lead. Right? You got to fight for it. You can't. This is not something that's going to passively happen. I like what Adrian said on coming together, but things don't solve themselves on their own. I think coming together is going to be the first step, and talking and getting to know people who are outside that box. And like you said, you know, Iranians don't come in my neighborhood. All right, maybe you got to go fight some Iranians. Maybe that guy at your corner store, you need to start talking to. You know, that's a personal decision you got to make. You know what I mean?
I'm looking around this. I hear you, Gordon. I don't know about fighting. There's been an awful lot of fighting going on for. Well, geez, I don't think I have enough fingers and toes, but I'm looking around this room and at the people in this room, and I know every one of their hearts right now. And I've been invited in. They've been invited in. It's just a matter of posting the invitation and saying yes.
Yeah.
And one more part, showing up.
This is true.
And something else I just want to throw in there is everybody keeps focusing on how hard it is for us to overcome race relations or to overcome hardships. But, you know, I walked into my living room the other day. My little brother is 11, and all of his friends are like 10 or 11, and there were like 4 black kids in my house and 1 white kid, and it wasn't very hard for any of us to accept that. You know, it's like it's a lie that's told to us that it's difficult to accept these things or that it's
fear.
Hard to get along.
Everybody fear each other.
Well, and the thing is, I wasn't brought up like that. So for me, the alternative of looking at somebody as different from you is way harder and more challenging than, you know, the way I grew up, which was that it didn't matter. It literally didn't matter. It wasn't like, oh, accept the black kids. It was like, there is no difference, you know what I mean? And then, like, my mom, you know, she had a friend who was a lesbian. We never were asked about that. And, you know, it didn't matter, like, these things. And then you get older, and all of a sudden, 20 years in, it's becoming a big deal. And it is a lie that's told to us that it's hard to accept each other, that it's hard to overcome these boundaries. Like, the boundaries are artificial. They were created. They can just as easily be dismantled.
Right now, we have to believe in our generation because of what you just said. We grew up that way. And so we can't necessarily burden ourselves with problems that are irrelevant. And, you know, I want to say, I want everyone to have, like, literally, you put your card in the bank, it's infinite. But the reality is, our home is this planet. And once we can, like, dive into exploring and understanding the resources of this planet, we'll live a different kind of rich life.
Yeah.
You know, someone on your street goes and becomes a genius master fisherman, and everyone has fish in their freezer. Someone else is great at tomatoes. Everyone gets a tomato. Someone's great at karate, teaches everybody karate. Like, anything, that's the real richness of life. Otherwise, there have been cities in history where everyone became rich. Nobody ever wanted for anything. And those people faded away. And
all right, Keon. Thank you for that perspective. And I think
I agree with Keon, especially what you said about our generation. I think our generation might be like the most important generation like in history because
of course it's the informational age.
Exactly.
Yeah, like a lot of things going on, like information, the internet, all these other stuff, like the realm I work in is like art and all this stuff. So I feel like our generation has a chance to like break a lot of the like these old dinosaur ways, like
right. But you
races,
still have those dinosaurs at home.
Races and stuff like races, like people who are racist and like all this stuff. They like dinosaurs to us. Like they opinions don't even really matter. Like I don't even know. Like none of my friends don't even like watch TV, so none of this stuff like really
That's not the dinosaur.
Affect us. Like
the dinosaur is your parent. Their ways are still
nah. I'm not talking about like age or something. I'm talking about their mind frame.
The old ways of thinking and working.
Right. But even that's breaking down. Like I said yesterday, I watched my son and my two nephews play the video game, and they're talking to people across the world.
Right.
The one thing that was cool about it is that they were friends. Like would wake up, call, text or talk on the Xbox, couldn't see their faces.
Right.
Yeah, that is real cool.
And that's the thing. Like, let's just say down the line they meet, just because the kid might be,
they're gonna be real good friends.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what he's gonna look like.
All right, Gordon. What were your final thoughts, Gordon? Then we're gonna take a quick break.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's totally true about information our generation. I just hope our generation starts to, learn and know the system and the problem, right? Because, these are systems that have been set up on purpose. I think there's a really good documentary called 13th, if y'all haven't seen it, but it really outlines, makes you understand what the real systemic issues are that go on. And it's not stuff that, a president can really fix. Obviously, national leaders can fix a lot of stuff, but it's on your level, on the lowest possible level we're on, right? Not being elected, not being, whatever. We can do things. I mean, look at Moral Mondays in North Carolina, right? They went out and protested every Monday a different issue that was coming up. There was a real issue and drove the message, made sure that was what was being covered on the news so that everybody saw that, everybody knew that, right? And they got that message out and they started building that community of people who agreed. And they got a Democratic governor the same year Trump got elected in that state. I mean, that's crazy. But all I'm saying is we can apply that here. You know what I mean? We don't have to wait. We don't have to say, 4 years we'll get somebody better or whatever. We don't have to wait for that. We can say, we can start doing it now.
Right? All right, Gordon. I really appreciate your call because you're along the lines of my thinking. So thanks for calling in, Gordon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. And so that is something that I really believe that, like, the age that we're in is really important because we're really about to change the way that the world as we know it is. Like, we don't really want to be divided anymore. We just want to love each other, have fun. I just want to listen to music and watch Martin and eat mashed potatoes in peace.
But guess what's the number one thing to bring all races, no matter what color whatever you say together.
We'll talk about it after break. If y'all want to join this conversation, you could call us at 901-260-5926. Stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Tell Me More Radio with Tom Shadyac. I'm Jasmine Houston, and we've been having a pretty good conversation tonight. Iris has been holding in really, really patiently, so I want to see what she has to say. Iris, you're on the air.
Hi, I just wanted to make a quick comment about the Electoral College. I think, as I recall, Alexander Hamilton was the one that put the Electoral College in place because of the larger states. He said that the larger states can't be a deciding factor who will decide the votes or who will decide the winning outcome because the states are larger and there's a lot of other smaller states as well. So he put that in place so they wouldn't overpower the vote or the deciding factor of who wins the election. So I think that's what that's for, not because we can't think for ourselves.
You're right.
But
last year, Obama said that's the reason we have electoral college in place is because there's so many things going on and not everyone is completely educated, and we can't risk something like that on the populist mind.
What was your other point?
Well, another thing is about, like Donald Trump being in office and everything. I think that since he's in office and we can't do anything about it, we either can make it a positive thing or start writing letters to give him
It's gonna work
ideas
out.
on how we feel. Huh?
I said, I think it's going to work out.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be all bad. He just did what he had to do, his personality and his attitude, because he was playing the game and he won the game. That's how he is. And I don't think he's really going to be bad for the people overall, because he said he want to help the black community. He want to help the Hispanic community and everyone else.
Well,
It's just a lot of people in the
That
media
is
just
rhetoric.
like it's just about white people. Yeah.
It's
But
kind
overall, we have to give him a chance, because what can we do?
True. So I hope he makes the best decisions for the general public and not just people in power. So thanks for calling in, Iris.
All right.
Keon made a great statement. Everyone must change themselves first.
I think him coming into office is kind of like the country's gonna pull together because like
Have no choice.
a tragedy. We come together in tragedies, and this is one where people gonna be forced to do something now.
Colway, you saying that's like a natural disaster? Is it?
Exactly.
I don't know if it was natural, but
But I don't depend on the government, so.
all right, y'all. We do have another caller, Femi. What do you have to share with us?
Hey guys, I had a question. I'm gonna cause some controversy, but do you guys think that the media is trying to cause a race war?
Of course. Everybody agrees with that one.
Nobody is born racist. It's like race is something that's
taught.
taught from when we were a child. There's documentaries and interviews of, not interviews, but I think it was like an experiment where black children have pointed at white dolls and said, she's because we're taught from a child, from learning in history about slaves and, how the European ones were the kings and, we were the slaves. And every single time you cut on the TV, it's something new about, a white cop shot a black student or a child. And then.
All right, Femi, we'll discuss the rest off air because we're running out of time, but we can talk about that a little bit. But thank you for your question. I guess that's a good way for us to end out. So, what y'all think?
It's a learned behavior, like she said.
I don't think it was a race war. That's crazy. But I think Donald Trump winning, it's like it come back to what we were talking to at the beginning, capitalism. He a businessman, like so. Of course. And our country is ran on capitalism, so why not put a corporate thinking man in the top spot in the country?
Well, the thing is, he's not as great of a businessman as everybody thinks. He's gone bankrupt several times in individual businesses.
That doesn't mean you broke.
Okay. No. In individual businesses. I didn't say himself, his individual entity.
That's how you get rid of debt. Excuse me, y'all, but the way that I see it is just that as far as the media, it's a lot of divisive things in there, but we have to be conscious of what we accept as our reality. So even though
I don't want to accept that as my reality.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It's not a race war. They're just not creative, and they were given a creative tool. And they're not creative. They're not intelligent.
They're using the means
even
to
play any game related to.
That's what I was getting at.
Stop participating.
Yes. So if you're getting kind of persuaded to think a certain way, where you look at someone and think less of them because of their religion, their race, their physical appearance, or anything, then you should probably detach yourself from that, because it's really more to life. Like, the world is a beautiful place. You just have to see it, and you have to make that decision to love other people, because that's the most powerful force that I know. And so we probably should all try to figure out ways that we could love people in spite of whatever people tell us. Like, you got to love yourself first too. So that inner journey is important. But I really appreciate y'all guys out there for listening, and all the people in the room. It was a pretty good conversation tonight. You could catch us tomorrow, same time. This has been Tell Me More Radio.
And we out.
Peace and love.
Peace, love, happiness.
Peace.
Oh, yeah.
AM 990 KW.